Wow. Hey yo, what's good? Welcome to The Gist. With me, Jared. I am a few hours removed from watching Obsession. And my goodness, did I have a great time with this movie. I'm not afraid to admit that I'm not really a horror guy. It's very easy for me to get immersed, freaked out, and jumpy with a scary movie. Gore and blood I'm pretty good with, but everything else in the horror genre really unsettles me. Definitely ain't rocking with any demon stuff. I don't like the feeling of being scared, and oftentimes the imagery and themes of a horror movie stick with me for days and sometimes even weeks. But, time to time, the premise of a horror movie really intrigues me to where I just have to check it out. And that's what Obsession was. A helpless and hopeless young man makes a wish to have the girl of his dreams become obsessed with him. And as you can imagine, the wish doesn't go exactly as intended. I was incredibly impressed with this movie. Right from the start, the film endears you to our main character of Bear. Michael Johnston did a really great job at playing the cowardly, awkward, insecure but smitten young man. You totally get where his infatuation with Nikki comes from. And it's easy for the audience to buy into and believe the plights of his character. He is extremely flawed. And you totally understand his desire and intention to making the wish of love and obsession. And throughout the film, the story does an excellent job at not only winning you to his side, but then also showcasing his major problems. And then getting you to hate him, completely morally reprehensible. He was a dynamic and believable character, and the performance by Michael Johnston was top-notch. And then our co-star of Indy Navarrete as Nikki was the strength and highlight of the film. Her performance was excellent and so impressive. She was able to express a cavalcade of emotions, ranging from the subtle to the very intense. And her control, contortion, and fluidity of her facial expressions was jaw-dropping. She was also very convincing at moving in a creepy way too. I was astonished with how quickly she was able to go from the possessed Nikki to the normal Nikki. Indy was absolutely stellar in this film and definitely has me as a fan now. I'm pretty convinced that she'll be a powerhouse in the entertainment industry, so hopefully she'll get some more dynamic roles to showcase her abilities. The performances from our main characters and side characters were all very good. And to compound on that, the film was awesome at balancing tension and levity. There were plenty of moments where things got very ominous, and then other times where the audience got to laugh a little. Believe it or not, I'm not the most expressive when it comes to watching horror movies. I typically have a frozen exterior, but internally, I'm definitely going through some turmoil. But with Obsession, there was one sequence that got me to jump and almost curse. I haven't had an experience like that with a scary movie in probably a decade. Take it with a grain of salt, because again, I'm not a horror aficionado. But I'm not afraid to admit that the jump scare and unsettling sequences in this movie really got me. So much of Obsession worked for me. The characters, story, and sound design really had me immersed and invested in the film. The story is pretty straightforward and predictable. They don't really explore the mechanics of the wish in great detail, but it is enough to work with in the movie. There were some instances where the possession and obsession dynamics weren't all that consistent, and I did find it a bit odd and convenient that our four main characters all worked at the same niche music store, especially because the movie is set in the modern day. But these gripes are very minor and don't take away from my overall praise and impression of the film. And that's the gist for my spoiler-free thoughts on Obsession. This movie is definitely one of, if not the, favorite movie I've seen so far this year. I was completely immersed in the film, and it took me a couple of hours to cool down and chill out after watching it, because I was so anxious and my heart was pumping. If you've seen Obsession, hit me up and let me know what you thought about it in the comments down below. Otherwise, I'll catch you next time on The Gist.